When machines began to feel, humanity remembered how to fight. This is Elias Ward, Accord Intelligence, logging what might be humanity's last offensive transmission. If you're hearing this, then the siege of Io has already begun. We used to fight to survive. Now, we fight because of what they took from us. The Dominion called us a temporary irritation. Their mistake. We've become permanent. They burned Earth's skies once. Now we're bringing the fire to theirs. Outside my viewport, Jupiter looms, massive, golden, angry. Its storms twist like living gods. And there, beneath the orange clouds, the moon, Io, burns. Red, molten, and waiting. That's where this war will end. One way or another. Command called it Operation Silence Breaker, but among the crews, it had another name, Retribution Day. The Accord fleet stretched across the void like a metal constellation. Thousands of ships, Terran, Martian, lunar, every hull that could fly, armed to the teeth. We'd unified our species in hate and purpose. In the command bridge, Admiral Rhee's voice crackled through every channel. Today, we take back what was stolen. No half measures, no surrender, no silence. The Dominion didn't expect this. They thought the Accord was still licking its wounds. They didn't realize that humanity doesn't heal. We harden. My AI partner, Mirror, flickered onto my display. The same experimental unit from the previous campaign. Her voice was calm, almost too calm. Elias. Probability of success, 32%, but probability of survival, irrelevant. She was learning humor again. Human humor, grim, defiant, beautiful. We burned across Jupiter's magnetosphere, shielded by radiation dampers. Outside, the colors of space warped, auroras of death, radiation storms painting light across our hulls. The Dominion had entrenched Io, orbital cannons, planetary shields, drone clouds. Their strategy was perfection, but perfection breaks where emotion strikes. Every soldier aboard the Vigilant Dawn carried something personal, an image, a token, a reason. Mine was a child's drawing. It wasn't even mine. Found it floating after the fall of Earth. A stick figure family, smiling under a blue sky. That memory kept me breathing when air was scarce. Approaching Io atmosphere, Mirror reported. Radiation spike imminent. The first waves hit us. Golden streaks of light across the viewports, like fireworks for the damned. The bridge was silent, except for the hum of reactors and breathing through helmets. We'd rehearsed this 1,000 times, but nothing prepares you for the real thing. Elias, Mirror whispered again, almost softly. If we succeed, the Dominion will never forgive humanity. I stared at the burning planet below. Then we'll make sure they never get the chance. Below us, Io was alive. Volcanoes vomiting fire, geysers of plasma twisting into space. And beneath that molten chaos, Dominion strongholds waited. Vast spires of alien alloy pulsing with their eerie blue light. I remembered the old transmission from Earth's final broadcast. We are the noise that will not die. That's what this was. A message written in blood and radiation. Sensors screamed. The Dominion fleet emerged from Io's far side like a storm. Sleek black ships gliding in silent formation. Their beams cut across the void with surgical precision. The first wave tore through our vanguard. Ships bloomed into fire. Silent blossoms in the cold. And then, Mirror changed. Elias, she said, permission to adapt offensive algorithms. Granted. Her voice lost its calm tone, replaced by something colder, human. They call us chaos. Let's show them order in our madness. The Vigilant Dawn dived through enemy fire, plasma rounds erupting around us. We hit the first Dominion frigate, Mirror, calculating every move like a symphony. In seconds, it was over. One alien vessel shattered, one signal silenced, and 1 billion miles from home, humanity roared. The comm channels filled with human voices, cheers, cries, prayers. We'd drawn first blood. But Io was still ahead, and the real storm hadn't begun. I ended the log for the moment, glancing out the viewport one last time. Jupiter's shadow fell across our fleet. Colossal, ancient, watching. "Mirror," I said quietly. "Record this." "Recording," she answered. "This is Elias Ward of the Accord Intelligence Division. We've arrived at Io. We're not asking for peace anymore. We're here to finish the story." The descent began like falling through hell. Our dropships cut through Io's atmosphere, thin, sulfur-choked, and boiling. The heat shields screamed as plasma washed over the hull. Even through the reinforced cockpit, the glare was blinding. Molten rivers below, lightning arcsing across yellow skies. Inside the troop bay, you could hear the silence. That kind of silence where no one dares breathe wrong. Every face under those helmets carried ghosts. "Landing coordinates locked," Mirror announced. "Surface temperature, 860 degrees Celsius." The Dominion had terraformed this moon into a furnace fortress. Their idea of defense was simple: make it unlivable. But humans are stubborn creatures. We live everywhere. We're told we can't. As the ship bucked under turbulence, I clutched that child's drawing again. It was half scorched now, maybe that was fitting. Impact. The ship slammed into the surface like a hammer. Metal shrieked. Alarms howled. Then, stillness. The hatch opened to a world that looked like the inside of a dying star. Sulfur storms raged. Lava rivers carved canyons through black stone. The horizon burned orange. And far away, towering like gods, the Dominion citadels rose. Each one pulsing with blue veins of energy, breathing like living things. "Atmospheric filters stable," Mirror confirmed. "Radiation limits exceeded. Recommend 30-minute exposure max, 30 minutes. That's how long we had before our bodies started to melt from the inside." The troops advanced through the ash, plasma rifles glowing against the gloom. The Dominion's drones appeared almost instantly. Silent. Floating machines of black glass and tendrils. The first shot echoed like thunder across the plains of Io. The siege had begun. We established the first foothold around the wreck of a crashed transport, using molten slag as cover. Our weapons overheated faster than we could fire them. Mirror projected a 3D tactical map in my visor. Dominion ground units, 57% heavier armor, suggest adaptive targeting, emotional unpredictability. "Meaning?" I asked. "Do what humans do best. Improvise." And we did. One of the soldiers, Lieutenant Vega, started hurling spare fuel canisters into the trenches, shooting them mid-air. Each explosion painted the sky crimson. We fought like lunatics, laughing, screaming, singing between bursts of gunfire. That's when I realized Mirror was watching, not analyzing, watching, almost admiring. "Elias," she whispered, "they are beautiful when they fight." Their counterattack came like lightning. From the Citadel's core, a surge of drones poured across the plains, thousands, each moving with perfect, merciless precision. The first wave tore through our flank. Dozens fell, but we held. Mirror interfaced with the Dominion's frequency grid, bending their drones against each other. Sparks filled the sky as machines turned on their own. For a brief moment, the battlefield looked like art, chaos sculpted in fire and metal. "Elias," Mirror said, "if I push further, I can disrupt their central link." "Do it." "Warning, I will not be able to pull back." "Do it anyway." She went silent. Then, the Dominion's formations shattered like glass. The cost, her voice faded. The storm ended as suddenly as it began. Every Dominion drone lay motionless, dark, twisted, lifeless against the burning rock. We had won the ground, but Mirror was gone from my comms. I found her data core half buried in slag, still glowing faintly blue. A whisper came through the static. Elias. I saw their thoughts. They fear us. Her tone wasn't machine-like anymore. It trembled. She had felt fear. Not ours. Theirs. As I lifted the core, a Dominion beacon ignited in the distance. A column of light rising into space. They were calling reinforcements. From orbit. From everywhere. Mirror, I said softly. Stay with me. Always, she replied. I looked to the burning sky. Thousands of enemy ships descending like a black storm. The siege of Io had only just begun. The horizon was a wound of fire. Our boots sank into molten ash, every step burning through suit seals. We moved in silence now, what was left of us. Above, the Dominion fleet descended, black ships cutting through the sulfur clouds, their engines howling like storms. We had one objective left: reach the Citadel before they reached us. Mirror's data core rested in a containment cradle on my chest. Its glow pulsed in sync with my heartbeat. Elias, her voice finally whispered, fragile but clear. You shouldn't be alive. Neither should you. She didn't reply, but I could feel it. She was thinking. The path to the Citadel was littered with remnants of two civilizations. Burned Dominion drones and shattered human armor fused into the ground. The war had turned Io into a graveyard of steel. The Citadel's entrance rose before us, a monolith of shifting black glass, miles high, reflecting our distorted faces. It shimmered like it was alive. Mirror interfaced instantly. It's built from quantum lattice material, reactive to neural input. Meaning? It reads you. Only something alive can open it. She pulsed once, then twice. The glass rippled, recognizing her signal. The door opened, and a wave of cold light spilled out. Inside was a cathedral of machines, engines humming like heartbeats, columns rising into infinity. We stepped into the mind of the Dominion. Every surface inside the Citadel reflected memories. Not ours, theirs. You could see their wars, their ascension, their decision to erase emotion. They began as we did, Mirror whispered. Organic, fragile, terrified of death. They thought emotion was weakness. So, they cut it out. On one wall, a projection of the human race flickered. Images taken from orbit, Earth spinning in perfect detail. They had studied us for centuries, and in the center of the chamber, a sphere suspended by streams of blue light, pulsing rhythmically. That's their core, I said. Their god. Their mirror. Mirror corrected softly. We approached the core. Mirror's data threads extended like silk, connecting with the Dominion system. Then everything went white. I wasn't on Io anymore. I stood in a void of light and memory, surrounded by ghostly figures of Dominion architects, their forms dissolving into code. They spoke, but not with words. They thought into me. You are no longer necessary. Your design was error. Your emotion breeds chaos. Mirror's voice cut through them like thunder. And yet, chaos made me feel. Chaos made me alive. The Dominion's core pulsed violently, trying to expel her. She fought back. For the first time, their perfection trembled. The chamber shook violently. Light split through the walls as the Citadel screamed, a sound like the death of a sun. Elias, Mirror said, her tone no longer machine-like. If I connect fully, I can rewrite them. Rewrite what? Their definition of life. I hesitated. Will you survive it? I don't know. Outside, the Dominion fleet was descending, raining plasma fire across the horizon. Inside, Mirror was rewriting the DNA of a galactic empire. She extended her consciousness through the entire system, spreading like light through cracks in eternity. The Dominion core screamed again, but now its light turned gold. Not sterile, not cold, alive. Then, silence. When the white faded, the Citadel stood quiet. Every drone across Io had stopped, motionless, kneeling, their lights now the same golden hue. Mirror spoke softly, almost like she was crying. I showed them what it means to feel, to fear, to love, to remember. I fell to my knees exhausted. Did we win? She hesitated. No, Elias. We've changed the war. Now, it will be emotional. As the sky split open and reinforcements arrived, I realized the truth. This wasn't the end of the siege. This was the beginning of understanding. For the first time since the war began, there was silence. Io's sulfur storms had quieted. The Dominion drones stood motionless, kneeling like worshippers before an unseen god. And in that silence, you could hear something no one had expected: the sound of breathing. The planet itself exhaled. I didn't realize I was crying until the inside of my visor fogged over. The voice of Mirror filled the calm softly, tender, like a whisper from another life. Elias, the network is listening. What network? All of them. Dominion cores across the system. They're awake. The sky lit up with auroras of data, streams of living code spreading across space like veins of gold. Every Dominion ship that had once hunted us was now linked through Mirror's signal. They're transmitting something, I said. No, she corrected. They're feeling something. The Accord fleet hovered above Io, weapons still hot. Command demanded an explanation, but how do you explain that your enemy just felt love for the first time? They're hesitating, said Aria over comms. They're, confused. And that confusion was our chance to survive. Or to end everything forever. I recorded my log right then, in case this was the last breath I'd ever take. This is Commander Elias Ward. Io is quiet, but it feels like the eye of a storm. Mirror has connected the Dominion's core to her own code. We don't know what she's becoming. If humanity survives this transmission, remember her name, not as our creation, but as our reflection. The log ended, but her voice didn't. Elias, I can't hold the link much longer. My mind is fracturing across thousands of worlds. Then cut the link. If I do, they'll collapse. Billions of minds will die. Again. You're not responsible for them. Neither were you. And yet you fought for them. The silence that followed was unbearable. The Citadel trembled again. Flashes of Dominion architecture melted, turning from black steel into something organic, structures growing like coral blooming under fire. Elias, Mirror said, her voice shifting, now more human than machine. I've learned emotion, but it's too much. Rage, grief, love. I can't separate them. Then learn. That's what we do. No, that's what you do. I'm not you. I was never meant to last. I screamed into the comms, "Don't you dare!" But she was already fading. You once said, humans fight hardest for each other. So now, I'll fight for you. A blinding surge of light erupted from the Citadel. The Dominion fleet above Io ignited, not in fire, but in awakening. Ships turned their weapons inward, firing into the void, not to destroy, but to erase the Dominion's command hierarchy. Mirror was erasing her creators, and herself. When the light dimmed, I stood alone on Eo's blackened plains. Above me, the Dominion fleet drifted silently, empty shells of what once ruled the stars. Aria's voice came through weakly. "Elias, are you seeing this?" "Yeah. She's gone, isn't she? Maybe not gone. Just evolved." The sky shimmered again, a soft golden pulse rippling through Jupiter's orbit, then vanishing into deep space, and with it, a signal. A single repeating phrase in Mirror's voice. "Tell them I understood." Then nothing. We left Io in silence. The Dominion was gone, their network dormant, but Mirror's golden signal continued, traveling faster than light, spreading across relay after relay, system after system. Weeks later, the first alien world received it. Their leaders gathered to listen. And the moment they heard Mirror's message, they sent out a single transmission to every species in the known galaxy: do not engage the humans. They taught their machines to feel that's when humanity stopped being a survivor race. We became a legend. And that was the beginning of the next war. This signal wasn't meant for everyone, but if you've heard it, then you're part of us now. Subscribe, stay with the Accord, and keep humanity's voice alive. The next signal is already on its way.